Quickly factorize a polynomial that has degree 3, specifically difference of 2 cubes. So if we have, for instance, a cube minus b cube, and we want to factorize this, what do? Let's take the first factor to be a minus b. That is the first factor. Now, we want to see, if we say a minus b is the first factor, we have to be sure that a minus b can divide this without any remainder. Remember that for you to say that an expression or something is a factor or a number is a factor of another, it means that that number is divisible by that. It means that that number can divide the expression with a remainder of 0. If I say that 8 has a factor of 2, it means that 2 can divide 8 without a remainder. Now, it means therefore that a minus b, for it to be a factor of a cube minus b cube, a minus b should divide a cube minus b cube with a remainder of 0. Now, let's see if that is true. Now, if I write this, of course, here has to be what? Where my dividend has to be the a cube minus b cube. Why the divisor a minus b has to be here? So we'll try to divide now. I will say a into this. In other words, a cube divided by what? A. That will be what? A raised to power 2. A squared. A squared times this will give us a raised to power 3. A squared times this will give us minus a squared b. Now, having done so, I will draw this line. The next is for me to subtract this. I have to subtract this from this. A cube minus a cube will give us 0. Now, you see here is a squared b. A squared b, on this line, on this expression, there is no a squared b. We can decide to bring in a squared b by saying plus 0 a squared b. If we do so, it means that the coefficient of this a squared b is 0. That means 0 minus a squared b. That, of course, will give us what? A squared b. And then minus b cubed minus 0. Of course, here this should be what? 0. On this line, there should be 0 b cubed. And so minus b cubed minus this 0 will give us minus b cubed. Because the power of this a is 2 and the power of this a is 1, we'll continue to divide. Now we say a into this, of course, that will be what? Plus ab. Ab times this will give us a square b. AB times this will give us minus AB squared. You draw this line again. At this point, we introduce a minus sign so that a squared b minus a squared b will become what? 0. Again, there is minus AB squared. On this line, there is no word AB squared. It means AB squared here is 0. We then say 0 minus AB squared. Of course, that will give us plus AB squared. And then minus b cubed minus 0 will give us what? Minus b cubed. Again, because the power of a here is 1 and the power here is 1, we continue to divide. You only stop to divide when the power of this a is less than the power of the a of the divisor. Therefore, we say a divided by this, or ab squared divided by a, that will give us what? Plus b squared. We now say b squared times this, that will give us ab squared. B squared times this will give us minus b cubed. By the time you subtract b squared minus ab squared, this will be 0. Minus b cubed minus b cubed, of course, that will be what? 0. Minus b cubed minus b cubed, that will give us minus b cubed. This times this will be plus b cubed. And that, of course, will be what? 0. Because this is 0, it means that the remainder is 0. And because the remainder is 0, it means that a minus b is what? A factor. And so if a minus b is a factor, we can therefore write this as a cube minus b cube equal to the divisor a minus b into a square plus ab plus b squared. So, and of course it's supposed to be plus 0, where plus, of course, plus 0, it will still remain thus. So you see, a cube minus b cube is equal to this. This therefore means that when you factorize this becomes a factor. What this means is that This can divide this with the remainder of 0. This will divide this with the remainder of 0. These two, when you multiply them, you get back this. So, supposing the equation is factorize a cube minus b cube, this is how to go about it. The sum of two cubes, I've done a video for the sum of two cubes. Now, let's look at an application. Let's take an example that will make this very, very interesting. Now, if we say factorize, supposing we have a question like this, factorize for instance, we say 8 minus 27 y raised to power 3. The question is factorize 8 minus 27 y raised to power 3. Now, solution. Now, for you to apply difference of two cubes, it means that before the minus sign, you expect power 3. Like this is a difference of two cubes. Difference of two cubes. Before the minus sign, there was a base raised to power 3. After the minus sign, there is a base raised to power 3. You ask yourself, do we find that here? Before this minus sign, you have not seen any power 3 here. And even after the minus sign, the only power 3 that we have seen is this base that has this power 3. Why this other one is not in the form of power 3? But the main thing is that before and after, everything that appears before the minus sign should be raised to power 3. And everything else after the minus sign should equally be expressed to power 3. So it means that we can say that instead of writing as 8, we can say 2 raised to power 3 minus 27 can also be expressed as 3 raised to power 3, then y raised to power 3. And of course, this is the same thing as 2 raised to power 3 minus 3y into power 3. Since this is raised to power 3 and this is raised to power 3, we can take 3 and y together as to form a base, and the powers, we take a common power. If you have written it this way, it is perfectly like this one. If you compare, it becomes a cube minus b cube. I can see that this is a, this base came before the minus sign. This 2 came before the minus sign. Therefore, a is equal to 2, and the b is equal to 3y. Now, at this point, we can say now with that, we can say recall that a cube minus b cube is equal to a minus b into a squared plus ab plus b squared. If I can't remember this, it will be difficult for me to solve that question. So for you, you're supposed to know either by way of understanding how we arrive at this. Some students do cram it, but whatever. The most important thing you should know that a cube minus b cube will be this. Because if you see a question like this, without you remembering this, it will be difficult for you to solve it. So if I have remembered that a cube minus b cube is expressed like this, therefore I will now say that 8 minus 27y cube is equal to, remember we say let a be 2. Now in place of a, I'll have 2 minus our b, we say is 3y, and then into a is what, 2, that is 2, and this a is raised to power 2, I have to raise the 2 to power 2 also, plus the a is 2 times the b is 3y, and then plus this b, we say the b is 3y, and because this b is raised to power 2, this 3y must be raised to power 2. So that this is equal to, this will become 2 minus 3y into 2 times 2, of course, will be 4, plus 2 times this, of course, will be 6y, and then plus this will give us what, 9y squared. And so this is the answer. So if you are to if we factorize this, this will be the answer. You can see that we had to remember that a cube minus b cube is equal to this before we could take this question toward the expected end. I want to believe you have understanding of how to factorize difference of two cubes. I've equally treated how to factorize sum of two cubes, but that is one of my previous videos. I've done division, subtraction, and degree of a polynomial. Please, I request you search for those videos, study them, watch them. Now, if you have any question, drop them at the comment section. Also, do not fail to subscribe. Also, please turn on your notification bell so that anytime new videos are made, you'll be first to be notified. Again, like this video and share. Thank you.